A Student Loan Repayment Loan Forgiveness Guide. Chapter 1. Pay back the college debt. Repaying your student loan. The biggest rule is that student loans are not wiped out by declaring bankruptcy. They're always there unless you can get them forgiven, as discussed elsewhere. After you graduate from college, within 6 months or so, 180 days of non-payment is the usual definition of default. The lender will come after you and threaten to destroy your credit record if you don't pay. They charge interest on the student loan, and technically, you owe that money for life until it's paid off, but they usually stop chasing you after 10 years or so. They have nifty tricks though. They have a computer set up that informs them when someone with your name and social security number opens a bank account, applies for a credit card, gets a mortgage, etc. Then they'll either call you up out of the blue or use some legal tactic like garnishing your wages or putting a lien on your house. If you have no assets on paper, you can't pay them back. This doesn't mean you don't have money. It means you just don't have it in your name. You have it in a relative's name or a friend's, or have it hidden in a basement somewhere. Student loan collection works the same as for any loan collection. When you fall behind on payments, it becomes overdue. If you have not made payments for 270 days if you are on a monthly payment loan, or 330 days if you are on another plan, then your loan is in default, which means that the lender can take legal action to try to collect his money. This loan default goes on your credit record. You cannot get other student loans while your current student loan is in default. If you default on a student loan and want to set it straight, go to the lender, explain your situation, tell them you want to pay back the money, and ask them to work with you. With federal loans, you can apply for an unemployment deferment if you work less than 30 hours a week. If your federal loan is subsidized, interest will not build up during this deferment, but if it's unsubsidized, interest costs go on. The big problem with student loans is compound interest. The greedy people who give student loans want you to default because interest is always accruing. Then they go after maybe your parents, or they even go after you at work and get the police to enforce action. Some places are now arresting people according to studentloanjustice.org. College debt, no debt. The biggest way to avoid debt is to get a job or run a business while at college. The second biggest way is to do most or all of your education by distance ed while working. Refer to the work and cooperative colleges elsewhere in this book. Debtfreegrad.com, FixCollegeDebt.com, StudentHelp.com. Some payment options for student loans. Barring this direct approach, there are other options. To try these, contact your lender and fill out the application form. Forbearance. The lender allows you to either postpone payment until a future date or make temporary reduced payments. You have to prove that you're going through financial hardship. The definition is something like you do not work full-time and your monthly income is not more than twice the federal minimum wage. dlssonline.com/forb/forb-list.asp. Deferment. You put your loan on hold while you are either going to school, cannot find a job. During a period of financial hardship, you are raising preschool children or become disabled. Interest still builds up, but the federal government pays the interest if it is a Stafford loan for the duration of the deferment. dlssonline.com/defer/list.asp. Cancellation or discharge. If you become disabled, the school your loan is from has closed, you teach certain groups of children, the loan application was forged, or you die, your loan can be cancelled or discharged. Income-sensitive payments. They look at your income each year and sets payments based on how much you make. Graduated payments. Start making low payments as low as the interest only, but as your salary goes up, you make higher payments. Rehabilitation. If you're in default status, you have to make 12 consecutive on-time payments, then the loan is sold to a new lender and you get 9 years to pay the rest of the loan off. The loan then becomes a new loan and the default status disappears from your credit record. The way it works in the loan industry is that the banks, Sallie Mae, the Student Loan Marketing Association, and other investors sell the loans they make amongst each other for cash now in lieu of the cash with interest later, so your student loan could have been bought by someone different from the original lender who now owns it, and they will be the ones collecting the money from you. The amount that you borrowed remains the same. You just owe it to a different company. Chances are that this company will contact you looking for the money, but if they don't, you can find out who you owe the money to by either contacting the original lender, your school's financial aid office, or your state's loan guarantee agency. It's a good idea to keep your records in order to dispute what they say if you feel they are trying to overcharge you. Some companies like Sallie Mae and Nellie Mae offer a 0.25 reduction if you authorize electronic transfers from your bank account. Also, if you pay steadily for 48 payments or so, they offer some kind of bonus. For Sallie Mae, it's called the Sallie Mae Great Rewards Program, which is that if you pay off your loan steadily for 48 months, the remainder of the loan will be reduced by 2% of the interest payment. Read the fine print of your loan agreement. Parent co-signing for student loan. In my day, we did not need a parent to co-sign for a federal government student loan. I don't know if that is a requirement now, but I do know that there are some state student loan programs and many vulture private student loan companies around eager to offer a kid a loan provided the parent co-signs and has assets, which I'm sure they do a credit check for, so if the kid defaults or dies, the parent must pay the loan off. There was a story in the news about a loan company going after the parents of their dead son because they co-signed. The kid dies in a car accident. That's enough of a tragedy, but then the student loan company says you co-signed, we want the money. Student loan repayment problem websites. There are organizations like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, and the Federal Student Aid Ombudsman Group, FSAOG. Find reputable loan servicers. consumeraffairs.com/finance/student_loans.html, consumer affairs. consumerfinance.gov/data-research/consumer-complaints, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's Consumer Complaint Database. Credible.com, loan comparison. finaid.org/loans/choosing.phdml, choosing a lender. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/repay-loans/understand/servicers, loan servicer overview. consumerfinance.gov/about-us/blog/scoring-student-loan-servicers, scoring student loan services. nerdwallet.com/blog/loans/student-loans/who-is-my-loan-servicer. sciara.dmdc.osd.mil, Service Members Civil Relief Act. It is unprofessional and unethical for loan servicers to withhold details about benefits. consumerfinance.gov/ask-cfpb/category-student-loans, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/prepare-for-college/budgeting/creating-your-budget, creating a budget. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/repay-loans/disputes/prepare/contact-ombudsman, Federal Student Aid Ombudsman Group. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/repay-loans, how to repay your loans. nhsc.hrsa.gov/loan repayment, loan repayment options. nslds.ed.gov/nbase/index.htm, National Student Loan Data System. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/sites/default/files/responsible-borrowing.wmv, responsible borrowing. studentloanborrower-assistance.org, Student Loan Borrower Assistance. right.edu/rater-connect/financial-aid/borrower-rights-and-responsibilities, borrower rights and responsibilities. fdic.gov/consumers/assistance/protection/student-loans.html, consumer protection for student loans. debt.org/credit/your-consumer-rights, credit and your consumer rights. studentloanclub.com, Navient borrowers, how to protect your consumer rights. consumerfinance.gov/about-us/blog/tips-student-loan-borrowers, tips for student loan borrowers. nerdwallet.com/blog/loans/student-loans/na-student-loan-lawsuit, what student loan borrowers need to know. nslp.org/borrowers/resources/managing-student-loans/borrower-rights-responsibilities, your federal student loan borrower rights and responsibilities. Chapter 2. Student loan forgiveness and loan deferment, which is delaying payback. Student loan forgiveness/loan deferment. You can request deferment for certain hardships, forbearance/forgiveness for other hardships like poor health. Ask about them. With federal loans, you can apply for an unemployment deferment if you work less than 30 hours a week. If your federal loan is subsidized, interest will not build up during this deferment, but if it's unsubsidized, interest costs go on. ibrinfo.org, information about new federal student loan payment and forgiveness programs. money-zine.com/financial-planning/college-loan/student-loan-forgiveness. studentloan.org/manage-your-loan/payment-delay-a-payment/deferment.aspx, Iowa. nalo.com/article.cfm, student loans, cancellation, deferment, and forbearance. You'll probably need an attorney to help you with the procedure. finaid.org/loans/forgiveness.phdml. bad-credit-advisor.com/student loans/college-student-loan-nurse-forgiveness.html. collegeanswer.com/paying/content/pay_loan_forgive.jsp. Loan forgiveness through volunteer programs. Loan forgiveness is a government program that will forgive your debts if you participate in one or more of the following programs: volunteering loan forgiveness, law school loan forgiveness, med school loan forgiveness, occupational or physical therapy education loan forgiveness, volunteering loan forgiveness. makingthedifference.org/federal internships/documents/student loan repayment and programs guide.pdf, federal student loan repayment program PDF file. AmeriCorps, 1201 New York Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C. 20525, 202-606-5000. Fax, 202-565-2789. 800-942-2677. 800-424-8580. 800-824-9704. 800-833-3722. 800-424-2277. 202-606-5000. Questions at americorps.org. americorps.org. Peace Corps, 1111 20th Street, NW, Washington, D.C. 20526. 800-424-8580. Volunteer at peacecorps.gov. Peace Corps Gov. Vista, Volunteers in Service to America. 800-942-2677. americorps.org. Military Service Loan Forgiveness. If you join the military, they might forgive your student loan. U.S. Army Reserve, 800 USA Army. GoreMyReserve.com. U.S. Navy Reserve, 800 USA USNR. U.S. Air Force Reserve, 800-257-1212. U.S. Army National Guard, 2500 Army Pentagon, Washington, D.C. 20310-2500. 800-638-7600. 800 Go Guard. GoGuard.com. ngb.dtic.mil. Social Services Student Loan Forgiveness. If you're in a social service field like the following, inquire around about loan forgiveness programs. Early intervention services for the disabled. Social services to families of low-income communities. nurse, medical technician, law enforcement, corrections officer, law school loan forgiveness, the National Association for Public Interest Law, NAPL.org, med school loan forgiveness, National Health Service Corps, oshpd.cahwet.gov, 916-654-1833, occupational or physical therapy education loan forgiveness. Because of the high demand and shortage of these skilled people, many employers such as hospitals offer some kind of loan payment program where they'll pay off your loan if you work for them. Department of Education, Debt Collection Service, Information Center, 800-621-3115, 800-557-7392, Loan Consolidation Center, ed.gov, 1900iwillpay.com, where you pay your loans off to. The student loan can be cancelled if you are permanently disabled, die, and a few other circumstances. The loan can also be deferred by certain hardships. You can get an application form to either request a loan deferment or a loan cancellation. Loan forgiveness for teachers. At aft.org, there's a guide that says if you teach for 10 years while making minimal student loan payments, it's wiped off. The thing is, if you make minimal payments, by then you probably paid off the balance and some interest anyway. In some areas, if you agree to teach special education kids, teach in an area with teacher shortages or teach at schools in low-income areas, your student loans will be forgiven. You don't need a teaching degree, just a college degree. TeachForAmerica.org. Chapter 3. Student Loan Repayment Websites. Student Loan Consolidation. Consolidation is the process of combining all of your student loans into one where you make one monthly payment only, but the hitch is that the interest rate is probably higher, and even though monthly payments are lower, you'll end up paying more interest in the long run. Consolidating your federal loans is probably a good thing for peace of mind's sake. All your loans are piled into one and you make one monthly payment. The fixed consolidation rate for all Stafford loans as I write this is 6.8%. Not all student loans are eligible for consolidation. In order to qualify, you must be enrolled in school less than half time and be in your grace period or repayment period. Your loan payments must either be current, or if you are in default, you have to make 3 consecutive payments. If you are married, you and your spouse can consolidate all your loans together, but this makes you jointly liable for the entire balance even if one of you dies or you split up. loanconsolidation.ed.gov, 800-557-7392. loanconsolidation.ed.gov/rate.shtml, interest rate. ed.gov/offices/osfap/dcs/consolidation.html, student loan consolidation. Trizofy.com. Nextstudent.com, 877-680-9879. edfed.com. student-loan-consolidatation.us. studentloanconsolidationtips.com. schoolwork.org/student-loan-consolidation.html. onesimple-loan.com. Direct Loan Consolidation Program. USDEPT of Education. 800-557-7392. 800-455-5889. 800-557-7395, TTY. loanconsolidation.ed.gov. ed.gov/offices/ope/direct loan. They will help you consolidate loans from other sources to increase the length of payoff time. Ask about the Income Contingent Repayment Plan. Nellie Mae. New England Education Loan Marketing Association. 50, Braintree Hill Park. Number 300. Braintree, Massachusetts, 02184. 800-9 Tuition. NellieMae.org. Will consolidate all your student loans. Sally Mae. Student Loan Marketing Association. 1050 Thomas Jefferson St. Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20007-3871. 800-524-9100. 800-413-5109. 800-891-1408. 877-881-1009. SallyMay.com. Will consolidate all your student loans. USA Group. 800-448-3533. usagroup.com. StudentLoanHelp.org, a non-profit credit counseling service. StudentLoanHelp.org is a part of the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, a non-profit credit counseling service. Talk to a non-profit student loan counselor about options. 1-877-406-6322. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling Registered Trademark, NFCC Registered Trademark. 2000 M Street, NW. Suite 505. Washington, D.C. 20036. nfcc.org. Student loan repayment websites. 1. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/forgiveness-cancellation. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/servicers number sign who-is-my-loan-servicer. fafsa.ed.gov. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/plans/standard, standard repayment plan. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/plans/graduated, graduated repayment plan. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/plans/extended, extended repayment plan. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/plans/income-driven, income-driven repayment plan. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/plans/income-driven, pay-as-you-earn repayment plan. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/plans/income-driven, income contingent repayment plan. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/plans/income-sensitive, income-sensitive repayment plan. Credible.com. ibrinfo.org/what.vp.html number IBR. studentloanjustice.org, activist website. moneyblue.com/student-loans-adding-up-you-need-to-dig-yourself-out, student loans adding up. Here's what you need to do to dig yourself out. awardspace.biz/help_me_pay_my_student_loan.php. bills.com/blog/pay-off-student-loans. collegeanswer.com. ed.gov/students/college/repay/edpics.jhtml, get help resolving disputes and solving problems with federal student loans. ehow.com, how to pay off student loans. helppaystudentloans.com. home.pacbell.net/lilaran/beating2.htm, beating student loan default. megasearch.com/student loan help. sallymay.com/content/landing/upromise. soyouwanna.com/site/syws/loans/loans2.html. studentloan.com. youcan-deal-with-it.com/kin_pay_student_loan/index.shtml. youngmoney.com/financial_aid/faq/030719_01. Student loan repayment websites. 2. collegedbt.com, $1.5 trillion in student loans. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/repay-loans/understand number sign grace-period, grace period. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/sites/defaults/federal-loan-programs.pdf, between 4 and 7%. smartact.com/student-loans/student-loan-refinance-rates, 9 and 12%. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/types/loans/federal-vs-private, 18%. studentaid.ed.gov/sa/repay-loans/forgiveness-cancellation, loan forgiveness. studentaid.ed.gov/portals-web-app/students/english/repaying.jsp, information on federal loan repayment programs for when you can't pay and loan forgiveness. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/forgiveness-cancellation. studentaid.ed.gov/repay-loans/understand/servicers number sign who-is-my-loan-servicer. fafsa.ed.gov. National Student Clearinghouse Loan Locator. studentclearinghouse.org. Click on the Students and Alumni tab to get to the loan locator. The Federal Student Aid Ombudsman. fsahelp.ed.gov. staffordloan.com. National Student Loan Data Center. nslds.ed.gov. finaid.org. 1900iwillpay.com. dlservicer.ed.gov. Direct Loan Servicing Center, information about paying back your loan. ed.gov, 800-4FIDAID. salliemay.com, 888-272-5543. usagroup.com. Department of Education. Debt Collection Service. Information Center. 800-621-3115. 800-557-7392, Loan Consolidation Center. ed.gov. 1900iwillpay.com. Where you pay your loans off to. The student loan can be cancelled if you are permanently disabled, die, and a few other circumstances. The loan can also be deferred by certain hardships. You can get an application form to either request a loan deferment or a loan cancellation. Deputy Director of Debt Collections. 202-708-4766. Contact them if you default on your loan and you're harassed about it. Policy Development Division. Loan Branch. U.S. Department of Education. 202-708-8242. If you're harassed about defaulting on a student loan, contact them.